Alrighty. Alrighty. Let me get... this chat on screen. I'm using like a really jank YouTube chat integration through OBS right now. There's definitely a better way to do it. I'm just picking up all the tools for streaming recently, so I'm no expert. I'm gonna get Restream here soon and just let it take care of a lot for me. But for now, okay, I was doing this. Yeah. Where's my YouTube chat pop out URL? I freaking forgot where that is. It's not this. Dang it, I'm gonna have to... live chat pop out. Oh, where do I get that from? I did it last time. I am a fool. I'm gonna have to pull up this YouTube video. How the heck did I do that?
That's fine if you want to look at your chat here, or if you want to look at it whenever you're in the browser, and you're going to do Control C to pop out chat.
Live chat. I gotta... okay, yeah. Son of a gun.
You're going to go.
Oh, yeah. Pop out chat. I got it. Now I just need to change this URL in OBS. And everything should be fine. Alright. We're fine. We are good. We'll find a better way to do this in the future. But for now... and... alright, let's get to work. Let me take a sip of this extra pale ale. Chainsword. Never had it. Oh, yep, she hoppy. Alright. The beginning of the stream, I'm just gonna warn you, I gotta relink so many files. This is my book 5 film. I've never, like, shown behind the scenes on this. This is what my actual project files are, the ones I have been working on. You know, you see, like, a very cleaned up version of this where I've already, like, exported it, and then I'm doing final touch-ups. This is the monstrosity that I'm dealing with. And this is just one single sequence that I got going on. I don't even need that one open anymore. Yeah, so there's a good amount of files in here. And I almost finished linking everything. I've been doing some hard drive backups and getting more mobile so I can use this on a couple different computers so I can edit on the road too. So I gotta relink a bunch of crap. So you're gonna have to bear with me before I can show you anything cool. You're gonna watch a lot of file management. For some reason, I can't auto-link anything. It's really odd. Right, like normally when you open a project, you get that big list. It will not do it. So I have to manually everything. 'Tis a beast. 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 Da, 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 da. What's been going on with you guys? It's been probably a week or so since I last streamed. My shoot in I went to Orlando last week. Just got back. Oh, was it like Thursday at 3 a.m.? Okay, there we go. There's one file linked. I'm almost done. I've only got a couple more, it looks like. Tonight, I'm going to be probably recording a lot of voice lines, too. I got a couple different projects I'm working on that I need voice lines for. Just reading some Discord messages right now. Yeah. Goob is cooking something up, guys. You better subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's cooking something incredible. I'm looking at some previews right now. Oh, he needs me to record right now. All right, we're gonna record a voice line live. A lightsaber? All right, yeah, I gotta get rid of that. It's too slow. My delivery is too slow. Here we go. How does Fenrau talk? I gotta mentally. I gotta listen to his voice lines again so I can do it right. Play some Fenrau. Talk, my brother. Speak to me.
I should go with you. My men, I can talk to them. The Mandalorians have endured wars since before the formation of the Republic.
The Mandalorians are... No. Listen to this one. I had it down earlier. Come on, play.
And you'll be back, not the Empire.
He's got that like raspy whisper. Is that just like a Mandalorian thing in general? Din does it, Boba does it.
Strikes from above. Definitely a surprise.
Lots of testosterone. Right. I gotta record. Here we go. It'll take a few attempts. A lightsaber? Still too slow, I think. A lightsaber? A light? Fenrau it up.
A lightsaber.
It's not getting the emotion I need.
A lightsaber.
This one's hard because it's such a short line. And I gotta get it to translate the right emotion. A lightsaber? A lightsaber? My voice is...
A lightsaber.
It's not getting the question at the end.
A lightsaber.
No, he's saying it like a statement.
A lightsaber.
No. A lightsaber? Try to be a little aggressive with it.
A lightsaber. A lightsaber.
That was too aggressive, I guess. A lightsaber?
A lightsaber.
I don't like that tone.
A lightsaber. A lightsaber.
Dang. This is a hard one. A lightsaber?
A lightsaber. A lightsaber.
It's like when I go fast, it doesn't like the question on the end. How do I make that happen? A lightsaber?
A lightsaber. A lightsaber.
How fast do I need it to go? The ones I submitted earlier.
A lightsaber.
Okay, I am going faster. That's right.
A lightsaber. A lightsaber.
Even faster?
A lightsaber.
I probably gotta go faster. A lightsaber. A lightsaber. Oh, holy crap. SWA King. Thank you so much. Alright, I gotta show you the exclusive. I had a goal set. I will preview a never-before-seen clip of The Way of Mandalore Book 5. I know everybody's like most interested in the Grogu reunion. That's actually going to take place in Book 6. So I've got this like... I haven't finished linking this. This is what I was trying to do earlier. I don't have the audio linked yet from my old hard drive. Thank you so much for that. Super. Very generous. I'm reworking the entire dialogue here with Bo-Katan and the Armorer. Where the heck is Plazier 15? Oh, that's in the next book too. Yeah. A lot of the big changes are going to be in Book 6. But I am really trying to cook up a new sequence with Din and Grogu, so he's actually going to go to Ossus twice to show a longer passing of time. I'm making this separation seem like a very long time. And... why is that not linked either? That is linked. I was just watching it. What do you mean, media offline? It's the same source. Come on. Okay, it's just lagging, I guess. So, yeah, Din's going to go to Ossus here at the end of Book 5. A lot of the events are changed. And then again, in Book 6, actually, is when we're going to see the reunion take place. So we are going to get... you see this green section at the end? This is the only part we get Grogu. Like, we have over 2 hours of content where Grogu is not in it for one single second. It's incredible. Unfortunately, also, the only files I could not find on my new hard drive, I must have left them on the other hard drive that's like a 20-minute drive away from me now. I'll get it on Monday. But a lot of my VFX of Grogu not here is on that hard drive, so I can't preview that right now. Let me see if I can open Book 6 for you guys. Because Book 6 is where the magic is at. See, Book 6 isn't going to be linked up very well either. But we'll see what it has. Yeah, new version of Adobe. Oh boy, yeah, see, everything's... okay, that's not too bad. It's a lot of my voice lines. I mean, yeah, it's a lot, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. Bypass. Interesting. I've never seen that. Oh, it's gonna have to conform all these files too. Come on. She's chugging. Come on. Back out. Look at that project file. Come on. Look at that thing. She a beast. It's lagging so bad trying to conform and do this too. Let me at least back out and let you see the different colors. If it'll let me back out. Alright. So the way I work, editing pro tip, if anybody's learning, I like to color code like character segments, like your A plot and your B plot. I color code them. So like, you know, my green are my Grogu scenes. I think my pinks are my Bo-Katans, my blues are my Dins, my browns are my Bobas. So you can see my plot structure here, and that this is scrap. I'm not doing a Book 7. Don't get excited. I think I was trying to rebuild the Mandalore battle alone in here. So this is like the final battle on Mandalore. All these freaking edits and cuts I have to make this crap work. What is this? It's been a while since oh, this was just like a mini preview clip. Is this my reunion? Oh no, this is something I was working on with Goob actually. He's gonna have a guest appearance in my films. That little New Zealander. What's a nickname for a New Zealander? It's not offensive. I'm not trying to do that. Just like you call Australians Aussies. What do you call the Kiwi? Is that what they are? I think I asked you this last time. Hopefully Kiwi wasn't offensive. I don't know. Never been to that part of the world. Let's close that. Okay, let's see if I can get anything working here in book 7. 6. Sorry, 7. It's not happening. 7 is not happening. I promise. Okay, so here's part of Grogu's lesson. So you can just see like how I have this spaced out. So much of book 5 is going to play out without Grogu. I mean, we get 2 hours. An entire movie plays out without Grogu. Like, he leaves at the end of book 4. Here we are, book 5. I'll go through some more of this once it conforms and isn't lagging like a bastard. And then we get through Navarro, and at the very end, I think it makes sense for Din to go to Assos at least once before the reunion, because, you know, he does get that chainmail thing from the armorer. So it makes sense that if he knows where Grogu is, yeah, he'd want to deliver it. I'm still trying to sync up all the right voice lines, so his motivations are a little different, where it's like he kind of understands why Grogu's there. He is going to be a little confused at, you know, this new concept of like Jedi attachment, I guess. I'm also trying to tone down that plot line too, because I'm trying to make this Luke Skywalker more like the EU Grand Master Luke Skywalker, SWA. No Lizzo. Screw Lizzo. Not in real life. Maybe she's a sweet woman. Never met her. I did, let's see. I have this whole Plazier 15 sequence that's just completely unrecognizable from... I can preview this. Again, a ton of my files. I gotta spend the next freaking few hours linking shit, but I don't want to bore you guys with that, so I can't preview all the sound. But basically, my Plazier 15 plotline is in book 6. Bo-Katan gets the information that, you know, her Night Owl friends are on there from the Rock World, which, if you watch my latest video, is in the Mandalore system. I think it's a moon. What moon is that? Let me show you. Did any of you grow up in the 90s and watch PB&J Otters? Because that theme song is stuck in my mind because I've been showing it to my kids. Holy crap. That theme song is just like, will not leave my brain. Anyways, I haven't figured out what moon I want this rock world to be. Concordia, no, that doesn't seem right. I don't think that's the right terrain. I need to look at, like, Mandalore Minor, maybe. I got to do some more research on these worlds. Because I want to Plazier, because Disney didn't. It's got to be in this system. If you watch my video that I put out today, like, you'll see why. But I'm trying to figure it out and actually place it. Plazier 15. Let me open my Kindle app here because I got access to that new Disney Complete Locations book. And there's some good stuff in here. The Kindle version is pretty ass just because it's so blurry and you can't zoom in. So, like, when you go to the main galaxy map, it's like, I can't see shit. And I can't zoom in. So it's like, I got to put my face like a freaking inch away. Anyways, thankfully they do break it down by sector. So Plazier 15 is up here in the N2 sector. Which, you know, I think makes sense for the plot line. Where's Mandalore? Mandalore is around here somewhere. There he is. So that's like a decent normal jump. And it's in those plot lines in the show, it seems like that amount of time passes in the travel. you know, this is probably like a day or two. Right? That should be a day or two flight. You know, you're going... Maybe some of you don't care about this stuff. I really do. Like, basically 3 squares per day. I mean, you're looking at a 1 to 2 day journey to Plazier. And that seems right for, you know, the amount of time they have spent together on this ship and how they behave. Duel. Whoever wins gets the Darksaber. Rebels Sabine versus Gar Saxon, then just gives it to Bo. Mando beats Gideon, wins Darksaber, then eventually gives it to Bo. Oh, I am 100% going to fix everything to do with the Darksaber, bringing in a lot of EU elements of the Mask of Mandalore. As I teased earlier, I'm going to let Goob share, but Goob and I are collabing on ideas, so our plot lines are going to sync with his Rebels re-edit series, which is phenomenal. Definitely watch that. Never watch the original Rebels ever again. Watch Goob's Rebels edit. And we're going to be coordinating, we've already started on making the Darksaber plotline make sense. No more this absolute bullshit. Where is this? Where that freaking robot becomes Mandalore for like 10 minutes. I hate that shit so much. Yeah, that thing is Mandalore for like 10 minutes. And then you get this whole nonsense in the Plazier episode. She defeated the enemy who defeated me. So actually it's hers. No, I am going to make that moment like a defining moment for Mandalorian culture going forward. You see how many edits I have in here. I've completely rebuilt this entire scene from the ground up, and it's going to be a completely new conversation that will justify Bo-Katan getting the Darksaber by appealing to ancient Mandalorian history, going thousands of years back, referencing the mask, referencing the creation of the Darksaber, which I'm going to tie in to the Tong species, who is the original Mandalorians. Let me pull up this picture. So the Tong, if you aren't familiar with this lore, they created the Beskad, which is like the original Beskar weapon. It's a saber, and it looks freaking sweet. So like the Mandalorians would wield the Beskad in honor of the Tong, who were the original Mandalorians. That's freaking cool. If you don't know who the Tong are, it's these... Yeah, never click that cannon button. Curse that button. These things are sick. They fought... They were like the original inhabitants of Coruscant, which they called Notron until the humans took over. So... These were the original, like, Mandalorians came from this species. It's freaking sweet. Mandalore the First was a Tong. They named their newly conquered world Mandayaim, which I reference in my show also. There's so much history that this show could have pulled from that they just didn't. So yeah, I'm going to be fixing it up. Good points, good points. I was hoping Din would keep the saber, but make Bo his regent. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I would prefer Din take the title of Mandalore too, but I don't think I can pull it off just because in Book 6 is probably going to be 2.5 hours long, if not more. I'm definitely keeping it under 3 hours, but there's a lot to do, and I think I'm trying to make this like an end game, essentially. This is to cap off a saga, so you get a little more leeway for longer films. There's not enough content to make a Book 7. I tried. So yeah, I'm gonna be keeping this around 3 hours. A little under 3 hours for Book 6. It's gonna be pretty epic, I hope. Gosh, this battle is such a monstrosity. It's so bad. The geography of this base is just beyond confusing. But the reason I can't really do Din as Mandalore you know, Bo-Katan is like very clearly the leader of these missions and in these scenes and directing people. She wields the Darksaber in combat. So as much as I would like to like replace all of these scenes with Din right here, it just can't work. I don't hate the idea of Bo-Katan. I think Bo-Katan's a really cool Mandalore, actually. Like, going back to even when the Clone Wars was only Legends and Disney canon didn't exist. Like, that's a cool setup from the get-go with the Vizsla stuff and her getting the Darksaber and then, like, conceding it to Gideon and then getting it back but earns it. Like, that's kind of a cool plot line for a new Mandalore, which there hasn't been a Mandalore since, was it Tar Vizsla? Pre Vizsla? Did he ever call himself Mandalore? I mean, that title, like, really fell off after Tara Vizsla died. There's a Tor Vizsla and a Tara Vizsla and a Pre Vizsla. All of them had prominent roles in House Vizsla over, you know, we're talking from 1050 BBY, you know, through the Galactic Civil War. Let's go. Love all the editing streams. Yes, sir. You can show some stuff on stream if you like. All right. In progress stuff. We got permission. As I said, Goob has been cooking, and he and I are trying to collab. Look at this. Absolutely incredible. So, with what I was talking about, if you remember this scene from Rebels, he and I are working on rescoring and redoing the audio in this entire thing. And this crazy man is just, this is, you know, a rough draft. He's just starting to animate. I think it already looks very good. Compare this scene to the original one. I think I have a shot of the original. Let me pull that up for you. So this is the original. This is the original clip of Tara Vizsla. Now, I don't really think it makes sense for Tara Vizsla to be the one to create the Darksaber. I think it works so much better when it's like an ancient weapon that he reclaimed and now can like wield it, and people just naturally follow him because it's essentially like the other side of the Mask of Mandalore. If you delve into any of the KOTOR type of fan films and stuff, which I think just really expand the story of the game. If you want the story of KOTOR, you watch these series online. I love the Darth Varkor saga. This one fits really well into it too. Of course, the Logan verse and everything the guys at KOTOR Cinematic Universe have been doing. Here, this is the Mandalorian Wars.
Early reports show heavy losses. Commander Tong is dead. The Jedi have retaken the city. We still have men on Duxon who are ready to strike. Should we send another battalion? Sir. Sir.
Okay, so I'm trying to bring in elements of like the EU that Mandalore the Ultimate is the one who had the Darksaber. You know, I in my headcanon, I guess I would say he got it from maybe one of the last surviving Tong. So this is the original animation in Rebels. It's referring to Tara Vizsla that he created this weapon. Again, I don't think that's as good. So the amazing Goob is making this look like a Tong to talk about the creator of the Darksaber. Give me just a second because my child is walking down the steps when she should be in bed. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, he's making it a Tong to fit this Mandalorian lore, and then It's going to transition into Mandalore the Ultimate. Look at that. Man's a king. So this whole animation is going to play out differently. The voice lines are going to be different. And you're going to get to actually see the freaking history of the Darksaber. And then in my show, I'm going to be talking about the history of the mask and the Darksaber. And you've got this, like, reckoning moment on Plazier 15 where it's like, what are we going to do? How are we going to fix the clans? Will we ever reunite again? It's going to be so epic, my dudes. I can't wait to release this film. Thank you for making sure that the hyperspace travel lasts longer. Makes no sense that anyone can just travel and arrive like 5 minutes later. Yeah, man. This is important to me that there's at least a semblance of something that can make sense. Like, I get it's never been perfect in Star Wars, like the speed of hyperspace travel. But from what I showed in my video, like, it can't be teleportation of, like, just constant all over the galaxy. And it's like, what's the difference in the core worlds versus the Outer Rim? If you can just teleport between them instantly, back and forth and back and forth, you lose the depth. You lose, like, all of the quality and the complexity that the EU delivered us to begin with. Like, listen to some of the interviews that some of these EU authors have done in YouTube in recent years. The one that comes to mind is Kevin J. Anderson on the Star Wars Theory when he was, I think he was on with Mark, whatever, from Collider. And they were interviewing Kevin J. Anderson, who is one of my favorite Star Wars authors and minds of all time. I mean, he did the Tales of the Jedi stuff. He made Exar Kun, and then he went and did a lot of NJO work. Like, listen to how these guys talk about how sacred Star Wars was to them and how much they tried to, like, honor George's legacy through here. And they took this stuff so seriously. The complexity and the lore, they, like, I'm trying to honor everything they made. And it's got to make sense in the confines, both of what George made with the spiritual undertones and themes of Star Wars, as well as the contributions of lore that so many people added and built the EU, which the EU kept Star Wars alive. Like, the prequel trilogy, it wouldn't have even happened if those authors didn't give their lives to building the EU. And listen to them talk about how they collabed with each other and everything. It's beautiful. Disney canon hasn't even come close to that type of teamwork on any project. Like, they tried to do it with the High Republic, and that was just an incredible failure. Look at the financial reports and the sales numbers on anything High Republic. And this was before the Acolyte came out. And it was already just tanking. All right. Is it possible to add some VFX and certain little details on each world just to make it look different? I'm trying to remember what that would be in reference to. Could you, if you're still around, could you post something clarifying what exactly you mean by that? To make the worlds look different? Which ones look a little bit the same? I know the rock world looks, I think, a little too similar to that. Was it Arvala 7 or something from The Mandalorian Season 1? Queel's homeworld with the blurgs. Which I thought that freaking planet already looked too much like Tatooine. But if you're talking about that, like, yeah, we've got like 3 desert-looking rock planets. I tried to distinguish them by some really intense color grading, so I made that Arvala world very red-oriented. And then Tatooine, I tried to match with the original trilogy depiction of Tatooine, so it's, you know, more your dull beige. And then the rock world, I'm trying to remember the color grading philosophy I did with that. Is that... Oh, I haven't linked any of this yet. Damn. That's Tatooine. Some of these I haven't even color graded yet either. Okay. Yeah, here's the rock world. Trying to think. I have it pretty saturated here because I wanted to distinguish it from Tatooine, which I have more dull looking. So I think there's like, you can say there's sand particles just floating everywhere in Tatooine. So I'm trying to make this what I'm going to place in the Mandalore system on a moon. I'm trying to make this world look distinct. I'd love to be able to sync up some of this and link it. Next stream I do, I'll have a lot of this attached and can preview a little more. But I have a whole new thing here. You know, there's your Mandoa, of course, like when they're one-on-one together, they're going to be talking Mandoa. Man, I wish I had these voice lines to show you guys. It's really cool. They're talking about Boba Fett right here. So Din and Bo-Katan talk about Boba Fett and how Din wants to go bring him in because he thinks he would be a great ally to retake Mandalore. And then we cut over to Boba. Why did my stream preview crash? Okay. Next chat. The Clone Wars Dooku fights Kenobi and Anakin multiple times. Make it make sense. Also, Night Sister magic. Trying to remember. Sorry, some of these were a few minutes ago. I'm trying to remember what exactly that was in reference to as well. Whoa, where do we see this at now? Space. What I'm showing today here is it's not finished work yet, obviously, and still collabing with Goob on projects he was doing. I'll say it on stream, I am hoping to have book 5 out in early April, and then I would love to have book 6 out for May the 4th. That's my goal. Maybe I'll try to beat some Revelations for Star Wars Celebration. I think that's like April 19th. I mean, you can see how book 5 is very, very close to being done. You know, I'm like 95% of the way there. I just got to touch up this conversation, especially the one where the armor tells Bo-Katan to take her helmet off, which made no sense in the show. I have to completely change why all of that happens, which I am doing with a brand new conversation. Oh, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, there's not many voice effects added here yet. Thought it was so stupid. TFA came out, movie had amazing cinematography and effects, just had the most boring worlds ever. Man, the decision for Jakku to look exactly like Tatooine is just the worst. Like, at least make it like purple sand or something. Anything but a clone. I mean, it opened up and we're all like, oh, is this Tatooine again? Are you kidding me? Like, no, it's Jakku. It just looks exactly like it. Like, what? There's a lot of different ways desert planets can look. Like, why can't we get a little unique here? What's this? I'm trying to preview some of my voice models. I haven't redone. So I have a lot of, like, template lines in here right now. And then I'm going to revoice all of them. I'm revoicing this guy.
We've been tracking you since Navarro.
So I added that. I can't even remember what he says in the original show, but it sounded really stupid, so... I don't have that one yet. I'm trying to find one that actually has my new Din model on it. I think it's this. That one's, you know, covered up by a lot of ship noise anyways. I gotta adjust some of these sound volumes. But I've got a really good sounding Din model, I think. I think that sounds like pretty indistinguishable from Din from the show, and those are AI voice lines that I record into my mic, and then I turn them into Din. I mean, hell, just make it Tatooine if you're going to do that. Yeah, seriously. I would have preferred that than just another Tatooine clone that we got to go back to here and there now. They literally shot Jakku and Tanisha to the... Oh my gosh. Well. Alright. I want to give a couple more previews in honor of SWA. Thank you for that, Soupy, again. Shit, I wish I had more linked up that I could actually show you. I'm trying to think the best thing to show you here. So this is interesting how I have this cut. So if you remember my book 2, I have the Book of Boba Fett playing out chronologically, so I have everything edited to play out, you know, Boba's Tusken storyline through, which of course isn't like perfectly chronologically. I kind of tell that story like thematically between the two characters, because Boba wasn't laying in the Sarlacc pit for 5 years before he came out. So some of that stuff happens really early on, and Boba is actually with the Tuskens a long time. I think Disney said he's with them, what, like 3 or 4 years in the desert? It does not feel like that at all in the show, of course. They did a ass cheeks job of making that feel like it was 3 years. Somehow Cad Bane survived. Yeah, I don't know why they... They cannot commit to anything. I can't remember if I cut out that scene where it's like his life thing is still blinking, because it... Yeah, I wanted to relight that so like we don't see that. I would love for there to be some blood here too. I've been looking into how to do realistic blood effects. It's not easy. Blood effects are really hard to get right. It's a skill I'm trying to learn right now. Because there's a lot of cases where like the Mandalorians are using their vibro blades and shivs in their armor, and it's like they stab a stormtrooper in the neck and there's no marks. The stormtrooper just like falls over. And I'm not trying to make a gore fest, but give me something. Like, let me see. If you're going to actually like slice someone's neck open, if that's the violence you've chosen to go with, you can't just make it look like nothing. Like, you got to show something or obscure the camera angle so you don't see that. But, like, they'll literally shank a stormtrooper right in the neck, and they just fall over, and there's nothing. And they only animated, like, scorch marks onto 50% of the blaster shots. Stormtroopers die when they get shot by nothing. It's stupid. So here's Goob. You will remember this if you're still around. I like I said, I have Goob as a guest appearance. He's doing some Boba voices as my fellow Kiwi friend. So here's a conversation between Boba and Din. Again, this is all like totally repurposed stuff. Where this is like supposed to be Grogu up here, and I've like intercut clips of season 3 with clips from the Book of Boba Fett, so like different camera angles. It's the N1 because I want R5 to be here instead of Grogu at this point in the story. So some parts like you can't tell who's in there, and then with a little trick of the mind, you know, throw R5 in the background, and R5 is chirping and making noises. Okay, so it seems like it's R5 through all of this now. Like, he's talking to R5. Really, he's talking to Grogu, but now I have him talking to R5. So that's a lot of the tips and tricks I'm doing. The way you cut is excellent. Book 2 is my favorite. Wow, thank you. That's pretty cool. Oddly enough, I used to say Book 2 was my least favorite, but upon rewatching it, when I just did that final update, I was like, man, this is a pretty good movie. Like, this is really fun. I've grown to like it a lot more. I think I was just soured by some of the lower quality stuff in the Book of Boba Fett. But like when you take time off of the actual Disney Plus content and then you just watch my edit, it feels like Boba Fett. You no longer get this like imposter vibe. Okay, what else can I show here? Boba shouldn't need an A, just have him continue as a bounty hunter. Well, my plans for Boba, I want him to stay as like this crime lord figure, but also true to his EU storyline where he becomes Mandalore. I think it really makes sense for Boba to be back on Mandalore in the final battle especially, so I have been starting to I don't have them linked yet. I have been starting to build scenes of getting the Slave One participating in the space battle of Mandalore. So we're going to get some scenes of Boba actually joining this battle. There's like really not even a space battle up here. I can't remember where the few clips are. I don't know where they are, but then so Boba will be in the space battle, and then I'm working on a VFX shot also of like having Boba here at this ceremony. So I'm going to be placing him here. I think that makes sense. He'll show up to like save the day in the space battle. Like he's going to be the turning point. If you remember in this stupid battle, like they launch like 1 million fighters. Gosh, that's freaking loud. Is it that loud to use, guys? In the space battle, well, like he's gonna be. My audio is gonna be looping because I'm listening to my own stream. If you remember in this stupid battle, like they launch. Okay, it's not too loud. I just changing stuff in OBS. Should have made the sand blue. Yeah, anything to make like black, blue, purple, make the sand different. That music cut you do at the end with the finale where Din turns and looks at Grogu. Yeah, book 2. Yeah, that ending compilation was fun to make. Boba's theme song is great. That was very well composed. Bum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. They went back to another freaking sampling in episode 9. Yeah, Pisana. Yeah, that one. Oh man, I laugh so I don't cry. Fire Spray is a terrible name. Oh, brother, it is forever and always the Slave One. Hear that, Disney? Slave. You're allowed to say the word. It's an actual thing. Boba's an evil, evil guy. For like 99% of his life. It's fine for him to have a ship called Slave. You did a whole Zygerian slaver plotline in the Clone Wars. We didn't avoid the word. It's so stupid. Din and Boba should have been the same characters. These should have been the same story. Boba gets out of the Sarlacc and Slave, loses his family, becomes a rough hunter again, adopts Grogu. Yeah, I actually 100% agree that all of the Mandalorian from, all of Din Djarin should have just been Boba Fett from the get-go. There's actually a lot of, plot leaks and rumors that that's what they were trying to do initially, but they were The Mandalorian was the first live-action foray onto TV, and they were so scared of the reception and didn't know if they could afford Tamora Morrison for all of their plans for that, right away, without knowing if it was going to be successful. So they made the Din Djarin character. So he is actually just a stand-in of Boba Fett, which is kind of sad. I don't think Din's a bad character, and as much as I love the fatherhood story for Din and Grogu, that would have been cool as hell to see Boba go through that same arc, just a fatherhood type of thing. Damn, that would have been cool. Ends up giving Grogu to Luke, put him in the pit in the first. Oh yeah. There's so much you could have done if Boba was just the main character, and Tamora Morrison's a phenomenal actor. you wouldn't have had this. Not that Pedro Pascal isn't. Pedro Pascal's a great actor too. But like Pedro Pascal, I don't think I know from all of the stories online, like he wasn't really happy with his involvement in The Mandalorian because he doesn't get much credit personally. It doesn't do much to build his image. Like, your casual fan are going to have no idea it's even him. You know, he only shows his face a couple times in the entire show. So the actor just wasn't happy, didn't think it was benefiting his career much, which is why I am pretty confident The Mandalorian and Grogu is the last we're going to be seeing of Din Djarin outside. I think we'll see him in maybe video games, more comics, maybe a novel featured on him. But I don't think we're ever going to get Mandalorian Season 4. And I think any future involvement is going to be more like one-off stuff in other movies, like the maybe Filoni's Heir to the Empire movie. Disney Boba Din. Yeah, I would have made a Boba Fett movie basically be John Wick. Yeah, if you're gonna do a movie rather than have him as the lead of a show, yeah, that's gonna change how you write it. Han Solo movie, they changed it. Yeah, man, that Han Solo movie tanking financially, and Kennedy and the other investors like having no clue why it actually failed. That did so much damage. So they learned all of the wrong lessons from that. Never underestimate Disney's ability to learn the wrong lessons from something. Hoping Din gets another ship, one big enough to store the N1 inside or have it docked somehow. Here's my prediction. They're going to give him another Razor Crest. I think that's where they're going. I was just at Disney the other day when I was in Orlando at the Galaxy's Edge stuff, and if you've seen the announcements, they're like retooling the Millennium Falcon ride to be Mandalorian and Grogu themed, and there's like a preview picture and stuff of the Razor Crest flying on Bespin, and there's also already been rumors that Bespin is going to be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So I think they are just going to bring the Razor Crest back. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, yeah, the N1 is... Yeah, that'd be cool for the N1 to dock inside of something. Maybe he gets like a big Razor Crest. I don't know. I like both ships. I mean, the N1 is... It's a little weird at being like so souped up. I think that was a little bit corny. But, you know, I like the callback to the Phantom Menace. It's cool. The Razor Crest was a good ship, too. Wasn't Mando Season 1 supposed to be basically a Boba Fett movie? Yeah, the Mandalorian got reworked so many times. Not even John Wick. Robert Rodriguez made Desperado. Just for that. Just me ranting. Oh, that's... you're fine. I know. Another Razor cringe, yeah. Alright. Make it like what's the Ebon Hawk model? That's not big enough to store an N1 though. I'm trying to think of like a freighter type of ship it's got to be bigger than Millennium Falcon, Ebon Hawk, Razor Crest if it's gonna have the N1 docked on it. I'm not sure. I'd have to do some research. Let me know if you guys have a ship. E.T. Henry would know probably. If they're gonna end Mando and Grogu with Din giving back to Luke. No, I really don't think so. I wouldn't put him past it, though. But I don't think that's where it's going. All right, let me get back to editing, but see if there's anything else I can show you here. Got a bunch of Discord messages. Oh, dang. Okay, sorry, that was unrelated to my edit, just a different message. Here's to the... Something disappeared right when I was trying to read it. I don't know what that said, actually. Alright, last thing I'll show before I get back to actually editing some of this stuff. Overall plot structure, let's run through Book 6. I've shown you Book 5. You know, it's Din's solo apostate journey the entire time. There's no Grogu through any of it. Now we end on the Navarro plotline. And I'm going to be making another YouTube video another long form thing, like showing how I fixed all this galactic travel and how the plotline decisions are actually going to make sense now. So we end here after the Navarro battle. Here in the Forge, new reason for Bo-Katan taking her helmet off. And just briefly, without having any of this linked, it has to do with the Mythosaur. Everything about this conversation is to do with the fact that Bo-Katan saw the Mythosaur, where initially it seems like the Armorer dismisses her, but really like the Armorer has been like stewing about this and knows how important it is. So this whole conversation is about the Mythosaur. It's almost like it's very spiritual, very religious. But it's gonna like reveal why why Bo-Katan is allowed to take her helmet off here. So we end there. You get the call, whole new speech from the Armorer about retaking Mandalore. Then we kick over to... I don't have that linked. Then we kick over to Din visiting Ossus, learning he is not... So this is the first time we've seen Grogu since the end of Season 2. And we really don't see him. This is all the Din stuff. So it's Din learning why he can't see Grogu right now. And this is all Ahsoka. Okay, these are Ahsoka's lessons. I made sure I want to like really distinguish Luke's training style versus what Ahsoka is saying right here. So I think they have very different philosophies of how they would rebuild the Jedi Order each. That's very in character. Look at her beautiful color. I love that color grading. So that's how that... Ahsoka has a different philosophy. She's the one talking to Din right now. We're going to hear a different perspective in the next film when Luke talks a little bit about this. So this is all we've seen. First time we've seen Grogu. Almost 2 hours and 10 minutes of Mandalorian content. Compared to what? The Book of Boba Fett one where we get like maybe an hour. So I've over doubled the amount of separation. Well, not even separation. Before we even see Grogu, period. You feel his absence because of that. Like the first 4 films, they're all about Din and Grogu. And then it's like Book 5 kicks off and Grogu's not in it, period. And you can feel it the whole way through. It's this really lonely solo journey. And then finally we get at the very end of the film, as Din leaves, you get the tiniest little snippet of Grogu. And it's Grogu, where is that? Can't remember if I show him using the Force for the first time here. Maybe not. I can't remember if I might have moved that around. But that's it! I want to link this because this soundtrack is so good. I want you guys to hear this. Where is that? Such a great soundtrack. All credit to, this is a cover by Elliot Tordo. Trying to find the file to link this. Oh, I need... Downloads. Give me the name of this again. What? What's doing that? Name. Let me find it on my hard drive. Shit. Why isn't it there? Well, I'm gonna have to... That's on a different hard drive, really. That's odd. That really should be there. Huh. Interesting. Sorry, can't show you the beautiful soundtrack. I gotta retract that file down. Anyway, then the Way of Mandalore goes up. So that's book 5. Spoilers. Would have been alternating plot lines like Boba did, but it would be going back and forth. Boba and Grogu, Mando Season 1, the Boba Tusken plot, heirs to the Quempire, Ahsoka and Mar. Oh my gosh. Okay, I just saw the scissors. Oh boy. You got me in trouble there, SWA. A YT-666. Bosk's ship is cool too. Is a YT-666... Can that dock a starfighter? Yeah, I mean, that is what Bosk flew. I didn't think that had the capability to dock a ship. I love this ship. Looks so weird, but it's like classic EU. The bounty hunters had such cool ship designs. Like, let me open this. I'm getting way off track, but it's fine. Won't open this. Just this freaking game has like all the ship models. SWA, you wanker. We're gonna find Din's next ship right now. Either a cargo ship. I mean, none of these are big enough. The Outrider's a cool ship for sure. But that's not big enough either. Okay, that's all I IG. The IG-2000 is a crazy looking ship too. It's so cool. Anybody used to play Empire at War where like he could blow up the Death Star, I think, with his ship. Just like hack into it and blow up the Death Star. I don't know what kind of ship. This game might not have the right. Yeah. I don't know. What's like a small freighter class, like a small cargo ship that can dock a fighter inside of it? Not sure. Anyway. Alright. Okay, book 6 preview. Okay, and then I'll go. So book 6, right, we closed with Grogu. We're gonna open with Grogu. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We start Grogu's training.
We'll find balance as well.
Pretty sick, huh? Nice transition. Redoing the voice lines here. So she's speaking Mandua. Olita Orishat al-Din. That means family is more than blood. Oh, what do you know? The giant alligator doesn't just attack them out of nowhere. Probably because that was a stupid scene. So then we cut into here. Again, remember, in The Mandalorian Season 3, Din is not redeemed at this point. So in my video, I'm like, why the hell is he going here just to get insulted, looking like a moron, when you didn't do what you said you were going to do? And you don't even have a reason for being here. It's that stupid tome in the crystal. Watch my YouTube video from today if you don't know what I'm talking about. But now it makes sense for Din to walk into this world because he's been redeemed. He's already gone through the whole Mandalore thing. Like, he's done all of this. He like reclaimed Navarro as like a staging ground. That's something else I'm changing to. It's not like their new home world. It's like their new advanced, you know, just a world that they're welcome on. They set up like a camp there. We don't need to relocate them, especially because I'm saying this rock world is in the Mandalore system. It's their staging point from, like, you know, they're about to reclaim Mandalore. So now it makes sense for Din to be having this conversation. And look at all this stuff. I had to redo every single voice line. He's talking to her about Boba Fett. He gets a new mission to go before they retake Mandalore. He says, "Hey, we got to get Boba. Like, this dude has history. He's got influence. He deserves a place at the table." And the armor's like, "Okay, you can go check him out, see if he qualifies again." They're separated. Like, Din and Grogu are separated. So all of this finally makes sense. And I'm doing... This shows you how much of a mess Season 3 is. Because I've put, like, 2+ hours of other content in front of Season 3, Episode 1. And it makes perfect sense now. You know your storyline is bonked when you can do that. You should not be able to move scenes around hours and hours and hours and have them still make sense, but you can, because the Mandalorian structure makes no sense. So that's then goes into what I was saying earlier. He goes out and he talks to Bo-Katan. He tells her about it. Of course, I've edited Grogu out of everything here. Grogu's still with Luke. And then we fade into Boba Fett's plotline. So since we just heard Din get his mission to find Boba Fett, again, this is where we start to see like the modern day Book of Boba Fett content. It's not before all of this, it's after all of it, and it works so well. I'll have to relink it for next time, but we play through a lot of Boba Fett stuff. Does this work? Can I show this? I added voice lines to Boba's vision here. Might be hard to hear. I haven't finished the sound balancing yet, but there's like lines from Django and stuff in here. He wakes up from healing. It's just a dream he had. Gets his mission. So we go through a lot of Boba Fett content, and then look, we cut back to Grogu. So I am interspersing Grogu's training throughout this entire film. So again, we feel his absence, and also see some Grogu character development. Chat, almost like they weren't supposed to reunite, or at least not in a different series. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think this is definitely the natural flow of events. So we go through some Grogu training, back to some Boba updates. And this is all while Din is flying from Mandalore to Tatooine. So as I said earlier, I am making that take a long time. So there's like 12, a little more, maybe like 15 minutes of content with Boba Fett and Grogu in between that. So Din's not just teleporting, poof, 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 all over the galaxy. Like, you've got A plots and B plots that happen as Din is flying. So it feels like hyperspace actually matters. So finally, after 15 minutes of movie, Din arrives. He lands in Pelimato's thing. He talks to Fennec. This is the moment where in the Book of Boba Fett, Din leaves and goes to Ossus across the entire galaxy. Now I've completely retooled this conversation to fit in to Cobb Vanth. So when he's saying she's asking Din for reinforcements, Din comes in. I'll just tell you what happens because I don't have it linked. Din comes in, tells Fennec, "Hey, I'm looking for Boba. I wanted to see if you wanted to come to Mandalore." Fennec's like, "Oh shit, that's cool because I was actually looking for you because we needed your help too." So they're kind of like, "All right, let's do a trade. You help me, I'll help you." So that's the kind of the deal they make. Din agrees. Hey, you don't gotta pay me. This is for a favor for a favor type of trade. He says, like, I'll get you your reinforcements. Let me go visit a friend. Boom! It's Cobb Vanth! It's not about Grogu anymore. I've just completely retooled the line. Now we cut into this whole plot line. Okay. Go through some of the planning while he's out there. Din goes and visits... I don't have it linked, unfortunately, but Din goes and visits Cobb Vanth. convinces him to help. Then we get the Cad Bane stuff rolling in. This is, I believe, the first time we've seen Cad Bane. Just shows up. Boom, he's in the story a little bit. Some more stuff. Like now we can focus on this plot because Din and Boba are together. So we get a long period to play out where essentially, like, this whole section of the movie, all of this right here is the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, it's most of the modern day Book of Boba Fett stuff in, you know, a 45-minute segment. About 55 minutes, including the battle and everything. No Grogu reunion, none at all. Where is it? The shot where Din is. I gotta find it to show you some. This could be before this. Oh, that scrubbing noise is bleeding my ears. Shoot, maybe I can't find it, but I replaced the shot of Din carrying Grogu with Din carrying something else. I just like put something else in his hands. So there we go. Hate the cyberpunks. Yeah, I have minimized them as much as possible, as much as the story allows. They're pretty. In mine, they're just like no name bodyguards essentially. Boba just orders them around like he does any of his other guys. They don't backtalk him. He doesn't let them backtalk him. You know, they don't lecture him on how he should rule. None of that. No, he just orders them around like lackeys, and they obey. And they don't get like all their solo scenes. Like they're just bodyguard background characters. So, anyways, so all this is tidied up already. So where there's no more Grogu, no reunion. Din does this whole entire battle alone. He has this, as he's leaving, he has this conversation with Boba Fett. They actually, he speaks a little bit of Mandoa to him. One voice line there? No, that's R5's noise. Yeah, so R5 is in the ship, not Grogu. He talks to Boba. Boba Fett says, like, hey, I can't join you just yet. I gotta tidy stuff up from this battle, but I will be on Mandalore when you need me. And, you know, Din encouraged him, like, yeah, see you on Mandalore, my brother. Boom! Din finished his mission. Now, one of the characters we haven't gotten much development for yet is Bo-Katan. So I wanted to show her getting some leadership because she had this really impactful character moment in Book 5 where she, you know, takes off her helmet under the instruction of the armor, and she's kind of being like trained to become the next Mandalore. That's how the armor sees her, is like, yeah, this is going to be our next Mandalore. Like, she has looked into the eyes of the mythosaur. She trusts that the armor trusts that Bo-Katan will get the Darksaber and have a symbol to unite them around. So we get some plot development from Bo-Katan here. I have completely cut out Din from all of this because he is flying back from Tatooine to here now. He hasn't arrived yet. He's not going to appear and then go on this mission with him. This is how freaking serious I take hyperspace travel times. Din is not going to teleport and be in this plot line. I have cut him out of everything. Countless hours spent editing Din Djarin out of everything here because he can't teleport. So all of this plays out, and watch how cool this is. So like we open up, like she's on the. This is just an old school Mandalorian glory hunt. They are hunting a beast for no reason. There's no kidnapped kid. This is just literally think KOTOR 2 Ducks in Jungle. I want to fight the strongest beast around me for honor and glory. This is all this scene is. It's a hunt to prove themselves, to honor their legacy. So you get this really cool hunt scene. They're just hunting treecocks for sport. Okay, they ambush this thing just for sport, like they used to do back in the day, where they would just fight rancors for no reason other than to be a badass. And so Bo-Katan gets this character development now of she's leading this hunt. Like, she's getting respect from the Mandalorians before she acquires the Darksaber later. She's gonna earn her place as Mandalore. So they have this big hunt. Now, look how cool this is. I have spliced episode 4 with episode 1. And I did that by combining the scenes of the alligator here that eats the Shriekhawk as they're hunting it, right? They trap it and they blast it down. It's like, oh, shoot, yeah, we won. We did this great hunt. Oh, shit. Something even bigger. There's always a bigger fish kind of thing. And now they, like, immediately start fighting this thing. Okay, they're on a glory hunt, so it makes sense for them to fight. They don't look like freaking idiots just getting ambushed by a giant crocodile in the middle of their ceremony. No, this is like all part of a hunt. They're already suited up, ready to fight. And then we've combined this clip. It's like, oh, hell yeah, let's go. Honor and glory, brothers. Mando Ade attack, okay? Then we play through this. I've removed a lot of just like the horrible choreography of like people jumping into his mouth. And then this is like good Star Wars humor. So like we've had this 10-minute hunt. I mean, literally, we have 9 minutes so far of just hunting beasts. Old school Mandalorian shit, hunting beasts. Boom. Now Din comes back from his travel. Time has passed. Like, this hunt has been going on, a day or so. They spend the night, overnight. Now Din's finally coming back just in time. And this is the type of, like, in a way, this is humor. This is, like, irony. It's humor that's not, like, corny your mom joke humor. This is, like, yeah, hell yeah, that's nice type of humor. It makes you just feel good inside when you watch something like this. You've synced up the plot lines now. I've combined things that are 3 episodes apart, and they play out completely flawlessly. Din lands, gives a quippy line, he's like, what did I miss? Okay? That's the kind of stuff. A little bit of swagger. So Din returns from his mission to get Boba. Mission success. Boba's going to join on Mandalore. This is the first time I've ever shared, really, my Book 6 plans like this. You guys are in a privileged group. Alright, another swig of this extra pale ale. Do you guys drink IPAs? Do they make your mouth feel so dry? I feel like I need to chug multiple bottles of water alongside just a single 12-ounce IPA. This is an extra pale ale, so it is super hoppy. But I'm going to go need to refill my water here in a second. Talking so much and getting hops all over my mouth. Okay, so cut back to Grogu. This is going to be the longest training sequence we've got with Grogu so far because it's been quite a bit since we've seen him. About 50 minutes since our last Grogu training scene. So we get a long extended hero sequence of Luke's lessons with Grogu. This is going to go through Grogu's entire flashback. And that's going to be just straight through combining all the... I think in the original show they like chopped it up into 2 different episodes. I've combined them into just one smooth playback of this whole thing. Grogu's vision. What is this? Okay. Oh, shit. I want to link this. If you guys have not seen this clip... Venator, I'm going to see if I have that file right now. This was not done by me. This was actually restored by the editor Wookiees, Rebels, and More. I do have it. I'm going to link that right now for you. Dude did some incredible work. Genuinely incredible. I don't know if I have it sitting correctly in my timeline right now. Okay, that should load in. I'm going to need to, like, mute all these tracks, I think, because I haven't put it in right. But essentially there was, like, cut content from this scene of Grogu's escape with Keller and Beck. And so as they're going up into space, it was supposed to, like, go up here and show this Venator. And this, like, chase scene was supposed to go on a lot further. So yeah, I haven't finished editing that because I'm not making this flashback happen with the armorer for, like, no apparent reason. Like, why did these hammers trigger Grogu's vision? So I need to find out. I need to rechop all this to put those scenes in here. But it's so cool to have that extended clip and actually see a Venator. It gives a lot better prequel callback to see that. So Grogu will wake up, from this vision after that. After they, like, jump to hyperspace after going through the Venator. Okay, then we get some more development a little bit with Luke. Just recapping that. Boom. Back to Rock World. This entire conversation is about Bo-Katan saying, hey, I've tracked down the Night Owls. We should get them before we go to Mandalore. So kind of the same thing, Din just did with his Mandalorian contacts. Now Bo-Katan's doing it with her Mandalorian contacts. So we've got this unified cohesion of, like, everybody's trying to pitch in and actually build up our army before we go and retake Mandalore. Boba Fett and his crime syndicate. Now we're going to go after the Night Owls after we've already, like, reunited all these ragtag groups here. Let's get some actual a navy here. Like, Bo-Katan saying, hey, we got an Imperial cruiser, the Arquitin class ship. So that's going to go here. That's going to lead us into our Plazier 15 plotline, which is Lizzo free. But I didn't just, like, I've seen a lot of other people edit, like, just this landing, and then straight to, like, where is it? Straight to this part. And I would actually say that's a bit of a mistake because there is a lot of good character development and bonding camaraderie between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin, which is really necessary for the payoff on Mandalore, especially, like, the pledges and oaths Din is making to her, where he's, like, sucking her off and being like, yeah, I follow you anywhere. Which I'm going to revoice him so he doesn't seem as much of a puppy dog. Think you deleted my replies in your armor video? I did not. If you want to talk about Mando sentence creation, yeah, definitely message me on Discord because I wanted to get that figured out. I'm actually gonna. I definitely did not delete anything. Yeah, it's right here. Did you reply? If you replied after this, look at that. It says 2 replies. I can't see it. I bet the link. If you posted a link, I bet it got auto blocked by YouTube's moderation. Shoya. That's usually how that displays. YouTube won't always let you post links, and they'll just delete your comment like that. So please send that to me in Discord, and then if you want to reply there again and kind of show people where they can go for better resources for Mandoa, without posting the link, because I think it'll get blocked again if you do that. Yeah, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you did say YouTube. When I read that, I thought it said you. I was like, I did not. Okay. Yes, YouTube did. Thank you. That's my bad. Yeah, there's so much character development that happens on Plazier 15. So just to run you through it real quick, like they go through this landing. They're trying to get to the Night Owl clan and the Imperial class ship. They still get rerouted. This is like fully a droid automated world. If you have played Star Wars The Old Republic and you're familiar with the Directive 7 flashpoint in world, that's kind of what I tried to make this planet like. Pretty much entirely droid operated. You don't have this like rich class that's using droids as slaves or whatever. This is like a droid run world for the most part. So they go here, they're automatically rerouted. They get on the tram. It sends them somewhere completely different. And look at that cut. So they go down. This is where they normally enter and see Lizzo. But now they're just going in an elevator. And it takes them down to the Ugnaughts. I've actually got a little bit of flirtation in here that I've added between Din and Bo-Katan. I think their facial expressions work very well, and like it always kind of seemed like Din had the hots for her a little bit, but like they never like went in with that, which I wanted some hints that they're like, you know, they're not going to be making out in the elevator or anything, but I like that bond. I thought Bo-Katan like flirted with him a little bit on the Mines of Mandalore too, so he's like reciprocating it. They've got chemistry. Okay, like it's showing that Din is fond of her, which is very important to this future Darksaber exchange and how he's gonna vouch for her to be the next Mandalore. So this elevator takes them straight down with some slick editing, combining parts of the episode that like never went together, and they exit an elevator straight into the Ugnaughts. I've completely changed this conversation with Din and the Ugnaughts. He's still doing his appeal to Kuiil and his friendship. I think that's a really cool callback to season 1 of The Mandalorian. Kuiil was a great character too. So I think this is a cool plot development, but I had to rework this conversation so it's not the stupid, our slave droids are rebelling and Lizzo told me I had to fix them type of thing. This is totally different conversation now. Din is actually speaking about the Rezul Nar, trying to appeal to the Ugnaughts' sense of honor, saying, hey, like, my people are like your people. We live by creeds and our oaths, and our words mean something. Da-da-da-da-da. It's like, what's going on here? Like, who is, like, rerouting me around? Why am I getting, like, jacked around on this mission? It seems like you know something. So he appeals to their sense of honor. The Ugnaughts tell him. They give him a hint like, hey, visit this warehouse. You'll find the answers you seek in there. Da-da-da. So then they leave, and they go to this warehouse. And they find an They find a bunch of separatist droids working around, revoiced all of this to fit the new storylines. They chase the B2 battle droid. They get the information from the destroyed battle droid. Back to some Boba Fett plotline, wrapping stuff up on... Yeah. I wish I could... I want to link this real quick. So, we've played out the Battle of Tatooine already. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and also link this file. But I can't just have, like, I don't want Boba Fett just to disappear out of the storyline for, almost an hour and a half, and then just appear on Mandalore. I feel like that's still a cheap inclusion. Boba Fett is a main character in my series, so I need to give his scenes importance. So, let me link this. I am adding a post-Battle of Tatooine Boba Fett plotline. And that is gonna... Oh, that's a big file. How do I kill 3 minutes and 30 seconds of time? we'll go forward. I'll jump back to what I show from Boba Fett here. So, Boba Fett's, B plot is still going to be going on. So we've got, really this is an ABC plot because we've got, through this entire movie, you've got Din / Bo, you've got Grogu, and you've got Boba. So we've got an ABC plot running throughout the entirety here. So we go through Plazier. That should be linked. I don't know why that's still saying offline there. I think it might just be lagging. There we go. Okay, so they go into the droid bar. Oh wait, no, not the droid bar. Sorry, that is the droid bar right there, but I've recut it. So now that building is like this person that's been jacking them around on this planet. I wish I had the voice lines. Basically, our dear friend here, he turns out to be an Imperial sympathizer. He hates the Mandalorians. This is somebody who used to... I've retooled his conversation, so he is someone who used to serve under Moff Gideon. So he's trying to, continue Gideon's mission of destroying the Mandalorians, which... Unfortunately, Gideon is in this season. I can't replace that as much as I would like to. I've tried to touch it up as much as possible by giving Gideon some impact beforehand. Anyways, this guy's an Imperial sympathizer. He goes on his speech and blasted. Same as in the show, but his motivations are completely different. And this is probably the best voice model I have ever made. It's Commissioner H. I can't Hell something. I sent you less than a second. Animation of Mandalore the Ultimate. Oh yeah. Let's do a brief distraction while this file copies. Goob has done something. Play. Yeah, look at that point. Go frame by frame. He's animating this Mandalore the Ultimate animation. That's cool. That's so cool. Oh, this is going to be amazing. I love that, man. Great work. This is still copying. All right, keep going in Plazier. So they finally figure out what's happening. So I'm using this pointless plotline from the show to actually hint at the Imperial presence, the Imperial threat, build up Moff Gideon. And then we get finally to the Axe Wolves content. Come on. It is chugging for some reason. Let's cut it to 1/8. I say this every stream, but my guys, I'm running a 14900K CPU and a 4080 Super. What more do I need to edit? Why is it chug? Optimize your shit, Adobe. Okay, yeah, whole new conversation. I previewed this earlier in the stream. You can go back later on and see it, but essentially the content of the transition of the Darksaber is appealing to this ancient Mandalorian history. Hey, one time we followed the mask, then we followed the Darksaber. Why? What's the common denominator about why we historically did these things? And he's questioning, was this because these items had some sort of special power? No, it's because people, the clans believed in the person that wielded those objects. It's all about belief in the leader. So Din goes on this whole speech detailing Mandalorian history. He's grown up as a Mandalorian. I think he's supposed to be 40 in this show, I believe. Late 30s, early 40s. And he gets rescued as a kid in the Clone Wars. So, he's been immersed in Mandalorian culture for 35 years. He knows this stuff. It's important to him. he's not taking this Darksaber thing like lightly. Like, oh, well, that robot defeated me, and then Bo defeated the robot. So technically, she gets it, right? Right? Anybody? No, none of that. This is like a really heartfelt explanation of why the Mandalorians follow a Mandalore. And Din convinces them with his conviction. And he says, look, it doesn't matter if I just give it to her right now. It matters who you guys believe is the best Mandalore for the clans right now. With everything we're facing, who is the best leader you have? And he's like, it's Bo-Katan. And then he's like, does anyone want to put another name forward? And it's silent. Like, yeah. It's her.
Would.
What does he say exactly?
It would.
Yeah. So he's saying, like, would it not be the best option for Bo-Katan to be Mandalore then? Silence, yeah, it would. Then I redo this where Din, like, he doesn't just, like, flippantly give it to her. I'm going to have him speak Mandoa here, and he's essentially, like, dubbing her Mandalore. And he's, what did I name her? I do want to find this. I can't remember for some reason. I can link this one pretty easy, I think. That is S32. Link media. It's a nightmare having all this stuff unlinked. Okay.
The Solos.
Ah, shit. For some reason when, Shoya, do you know that off the top of your head? What does Solus mean in Mandoa? Because he named her, like... I have Din, like, give Bo-Katan the title that she will be called. Mandalore the something. And for some reason I cannot remember. I went through like a bunch of different words that I thought. One? Shoot. That's... Yeah, you're right, because when the armor is like training... What did I want to name her? I wish it carried out. I had it subtitled.
Mandalore. The Solos.
Mandalore the First wouldn't make sense. I probably need to revoice that then. I cannot remember what I was going for. Yes! Oh, you're right. That's right. Solus. I think I wanted to be like Mandalore the Unifier. Exactly. Okay, thank you. This props to technically Yees is first. Okay. Yeah, I was definitely going for the uniter aspect. So I think Mandalore the Unifier or something along those lines. Which I think is a great name for Bo-Katan's Mandalore name. So, yeah, Mandalorian history respected. Moment feels so much weightier, not cheap. So now, after we've gotten this, like, okay, the Imperials are a threat. They're still poking around. Now I transition into this thing where this New Republic pilot, I can't remember his name. He finds the piece. He's like, oh, Moff Gideon's out. What? The Solish. Okay, Solish. Oh, that's for the first. Yeah, Solus. Okay. Solish. Yeah, I know sometimes the YCs end in a sheesh type of sound. Okay, so we go from, we're introducing the Imperial threat over an hour before the end of the film now, so go through some of the Imperial stuff, see what the imps are up to. Moff Gideon is revealed to be free and alive and a threat to the Mandalorians. Cut back to Grogu. This is the conversation where in Disney canon, Luke just gives a terrible explanation and reverts back to like old Jedi stuff. I've completely revoiced this whole thing. I don't know if are these the right voice lines?
The Mandalorian wanted you to have this.
Yeah, I haven't fixed the audio here yet.
Before you take it, I will give you a choice.
I don't think I did these voice lines yet. Let's see.
This is a lightsaber.
Check, is it my RAM that's slowing me up? Maybe I need 64 gigs in here. Because if I hit play...
Home to my teacher, Master Yoda. And now, I'm offering it to you.
I guess. This RAM's the closest I can see. Okay, so anyways, I redid some of Luke's voice lines here because I want it to make sense and be like Grandmaster Luke, where Luke is evolving and allowing, like, love, essentially. You know, there's good love and there's dangerous love. And I think that's one of the best evolutions that EU Grandmaster Luke Skywalker makes for the Jedi Order. And they decided not to go down that route for Disney for some unknown reason, and I think it works so much better, especially here. So I need to, I have a whole different conversation written out somewhere else about what Luke will say to Grogu here and what he's presenting him. It's more along the lines of like, hey, you know, if you want to go be with Din and, you know, use your gifts, your powers with him, stay untrained a little bit, you know, that's your choice. But like, if you're here, I need you to focus. Like, learning the Force is not an easy thing. You got to be all in, Grogu. Like, do you want to be here? Do you want to be a Jedi, or do you know, want to go elsewhere? It's not like, hey, you're not allowed to be attached to Din. You either have to never see Din again, you know, or go back to him and never be a Jedi again. No, Luke's like offering him multiple options of like, do what you want, man. It's not this just like binary, really Galactic Republic-y Jedi type of thing that Luke should have evolved past. So back to Navarro, they brought the fleet back. Everybody's united. This plays out pretty well. Right here is where Din... Got some sound effects that aren't playing and voice lines. But Din starts to get a call from his N1. This ties into a previous plot point earlier when he has that conversation with Boba Fett. He tells R5, like, hey, make sure you keep updating my comm system. Check in for... see if I have any new messages from Ossus. So I've got like little throwaway lines throughout the film, like showing that Din's mind is still on Grogu. Wondering if he, you know, got a message from him, a letter from him. So here, right after he comes back from Plazier to they're on Navarro, yeah, to Navarro. Everybody's prepping for this invasion of Mandalore. So we've got this downtime now. Hey, the clan's got to learn how to work together. Din's like, shoot, I'm getting a message from Ossus. I gotta go. So he takes off, and this is where I'm going to have him go back and reunite with Grogu. So combining some of this footage with... I don't have that linked either. Shoot, I can't show you much of it. None of it's linked, but he reunites with Grogu here. R2 brings out the little case. I showed a little snippet of it in my last video, but R2 brings out the container. I don't even have that shit, damn. And then Grogu jumps out. Luke is like very approving, watching it all take place. Comments on it. And then I've recolor graded Ossus. This is actually the clip from The Mandalorian Season 1 on Sorgan. The little village episode. And I have recolor graded that thing to look exactly like Ossus. And look at the vegetation colors. It's like really good. And especially like, yeah. Look, you got the greens and the yellows. I recolored everything to really match up. So it looks like he is walking back with Grogu now. And I'm going to like redo some of the background so it looks like where his ship landed. I'm just going to replace it with... Where is it? Where does he land? Well, you get the point. I'm going to swap the backgrounds. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Swap the backgrounds. So it looks like he's there walking back to his N1 Starfighter with Grogu. That's how it's going to go. Yeah. I just need to like change a little bit of the trees in the background there. I think I might be able to get that, like, isn't there like a lake? I thought there was like a body of water off to the side. Anyways, that's how that's going to go. So he gets Grogu back. What's this one? Yeah, I don't need that. Then he's flying back to Navarro, putting this scene here. I think this is like a nice little bonding moment with them. And these space whales represent like the Force at work. Like the Force being sovereign over all things. So I thought it was very appropriate for this to play out like right after this really meaningful reunion. So we get the space whales, then we go back to Navarro. I haven't edited much of this. I say, look how many edits. I haven't done much in this part yet. But essentially, it plays out like the show plays out now, where Navarro to Mandalore, the retaking Mandalore battle. I mean, you can still see like this light blue stuff is from other episodes, so I am still bringing in a lot of content from other episodes. Mostly travel stuff from Din and Grogu, giving them some more time together, stuff they missed in the ship since their reunion is so late. I want them to have these bonding moments on the few times we get with them in travel and transit. It's like this conversation now works so well where he's like teaching Grogu about the Mandalore system when they arrive together now at the end of the season. He's like, hey, I'm back in my dad role. I'm a teacher. I'm raising him up in Mandalorian culture. So, yep, all of this stuff is the same. For some reason, the N1 didn't fly to Mandalore in the show for the final battle. Like, Din, I think, just gets on Bo-Katan's ship instead of flying his own ship, which I don't understand why. So I just make him, hey, the fleet goes out, Din follows them. He's with Grogu, getting some extra time with Grogu. He wants that one-on-one time before the battle. Because who knows how stuff is going to go down. Okay, then Battle of Mandalore is going to play out. I like that. With a trillion edits to make it not ass cheeks. The end plays out. You know, I'm going to put Boba Fett in here, as I said. Totally redo the soundtrack, redo the contents of this conversation, make it a lot more EU Mandalorian oriented. And then I'm fine with like Din. You know, this is gonna completely lead into the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I assume. So I have to leave it, no matter what we want or don't want in this. Like, there's gonna be a whole movie based on this. Din working for the New Republic. I would have preferred Din just like really commit to the Mandalorians kind of become like, I don't know, Bo-Katan's advisor or something. You know, right hand of the Mandalore. Which I still might be able to have him do. He's just also going to be friendly with the New Republic. And again, like, as much as I would like IG not to just be in this whatsoever, he's going to be in the movie, so I'm probably going to have him there. And it's, you know, it's not a huge pet peeve. I've totally changed all the camera movements of this scene. Some people love the Looney Tunes closing. Some people didn't. I am changing it. Just a simple cross this off. Then the Way of Mandalore logo pops up. And that is the Way of Mandalore saga. That is my vision for this series, for books 5 and 6, and how I think I can actually make it work. We get payoff for Grogu, for Din. The separation occurs. Boba gets his moments. He's involved in the plot for Mandalore. He doesn't just disappear for all of Season 3. Bo-Katan's storyline will make sense. And like with all that, I think I've addressed most of the flaws that Season 3 had. At least most of the fixable flaws. I'm pretty happy with this. If anybody has ideas, please DM me or leave some comments here. I'd love to know if there's anything I'm missing for potential of changes. I think I've maximized like as much of the content as I can. Like I try to use as much of the content as I can. I just retool it and repurpose it. So book 5 is very close to being done. Hopefully we'll have this out in 2 to 3 weeks. I didn't even get to editing book 4 tonight at all. I'm going to wrap up the stream here now, but I'll try and finish book 4 tomorrow. I really want to release it tomorrow. So hopefully the updated book 4 will be out then. I'll probably finish it tomorrow night, so probably be a Monday release on that. And then, you know, review this movie one more time, one more pass through. Let me show you just some of the little things I'm adding in here. Last thing I'll show you. Book 5, Din on the Apostate Trail. I'm just adding like Star Wars callbacks and references, little, like the good kind of Easter eggs, so listen to this.
Final boarding call for transport 1138 to Navarro. Thank you for traveling with Star Tours.
Okay, I don't know how loud the audio is on your guys' end. But in the Book of Boba Fett show, this transport goes to Tatooine. It does not go to Navarro, so I needed a way to... And it's saying, like, over the speakers, hey, we're going to Tatooine. So I had to cut that out and replace it a little bit. So, just, you know, last boarding call for transport flight 1138 to Navarro. Thank you for riding with Star Tours. I thought that's a little cute reference. Both of those, everything about that is very old school Star Warsy. So this is the type of care I'm trying to take, and the care I wish the Disney producers and stuff would take with these shows. Like, this is reverent stuff we're dealing with. You can't be flippant with about Star Tours, man. Like, I went to Disney as a kid. I remember Star Tours. You get in a transport ship that, you know, looks like this. Man, though, that if you've been to Disney World, like that front entrance of where it's just like Endor, and what there is, there like a little cantina or something, a Tatooine cantina. There's like a tiny Tatooine section, a tiny Endor section, and maybe like a little Death Star shop or something. That tiny little section is 10 times better than all of Galaxy's Edge. I'll say that without shame whatsoever. Galaxy's Edge is such a letdown. Like, what is that stupid planet? Who wants to go to Batuu all day long? And every time I've gone, there's been like no actors out there. I haven't seen any stormtroopers walking around. There's none of that interactive stuff they even promised to begin with. It's because that park is not making them money. I mean, they closed the hotel. Such a bad idea. And I think they're trying to repurpose all of Galaxy's Edge to be Mandalorian themed. I think they're going to repurpose the whole thing to be Navarro, which I guess that would be a little better. I still wish they'd do other Star Wars things with... wish they'd make it, you know, Lucas Star Wars for their Star Wars land, but oh well. I think, can I show this? Yeah. So there's no, obviously there's no clip of this ship flying to Navarro. It only flies to Tatooine, so I had to do some VFX to try and cover up the fact that it's flying to Navarro. So I think I need to touch up the border a little bit still. Some of the movement looks a little janky, so I need to open up this and go back into After Effects a little bit, but that's, you know, that it'll function once I finish it. So that's one of the last few things I need to do in Book 5. One more plot review, re-record a lot of the voice lines, finish this conversation with with Bo-Katan and the armor. And then I need to do a double check to make sure I'm not reusing footage. You can see I made very careful edits so that I don't repeat any footage from this trip to Ossus with the trip to Ossus at the end of the next film. So I want them to feel unique and earned. So I need to, like, shot by shot compare to make sure I'm not, like, repeating anything here. That's about it. So that's why I say, you know, Book 5 is really, with all the work you can see that's already been done, this was just an absolute monster of a project. To try and VFX Grogu out of, like, this entire season, there's, like, everything you see up here is a linked composition to After Effects. It's just... it was a monstrosity of a task. Like, all of these are like, I had to take Grogu out of everything. So it just took me so long masking, replacing the mask with something else. We're close, folks. We are close. That's going to wrap it up for me tonight. My voice is dry from this extra pale ale. I didn't bring a water down. I need to go eat dinner. Got church in the morning. So I'm gonna call it a night. I did not even watch this. Hold on. I feel bad about lying in my video title because I said I would work on Book 4. I need to make like one change to Book 4 so I can say I actually worked on it. Why do you have to? Oh my gosh. I did a lot of work on this actually in between streams. So when I last ended, I think I was like back here. So I did retool a lot of this. Oh, I would like to show you this. What is happening? Something has gone horribly wrong. Where's the show? Oh, it's back here. The Arquitin class. Everything I've seen from the Arquitin class cruiser, from Rebels and all, it has green blasters, and for some reason in the Mandalorian it had red blasters. So I had to just like recolor it to be green. It's not red anymore, so that's the last thing I worked on in here. And then what did I do here? I added a Din voice line. No! Because he just it's so weird, he runs up here silent and then just watches Grogu get taken with like no emotion. He just doesn't say anything, so I thought adding a AI line works well. No! It makes it, I feel like it ups the intensity a little bit. And then, I don't remember what this is. Oh, this is a stupid line where... Oh my gosh, this one pissed me off so much. Last thing, and then I'm going to bed. So in this scene... Let me see. What? It's not conforming for some reason. Fennec here is talking to Boba, and she says, "Hey, actually, I can show you because that's the other line. Listen to this.
The Outer Rim is under the jurisdiction of the New Republic.
The Outer Rim? My brother, do you not know what freaking planet you are on? You are on Tython. It does not get more deep core than Tython. What are you talking about? What? Why are the Imperials are in the Outer Rim, huh? What? What? Where do you think Tython is? And then not only that, she also says the Outer Rim is under the jurisdiction of the New Republic, which is like, no, it's not. It's not under the jurisdiction. Like, you have that opposite plot point in other parts of this very show, where like Navarro is in the Outer Rim and it's not part of the New Republic. Like, what the heck are you talking about? This Roberto Rodriguez, that dude, I said it in my last stream, we could never allow this man to touch Star Wars again. He has no clue about anything Star Wars lore, and I'm sorry, I think he's just a bad director all around. Everything I've seen him make is just really bad. This isn't a personal slight. Maybe he's the nicest person on earth and donates 90% of his money to charity. I don't know. Never let him touch Star Wars again. So anyways, I fixed the line. I just had to revoice Fennec to say, like, mention we're in the deep core. We're not in the Outer Rim. Kill me. All right. We're going to end on that note. Good night, everybody. And remember, Alit Orishataldin, family is more than blood. Save. I didn't actually edit anything in here, did I? I'm letting it generate a peak file. There we go. I didn't lie. I am working on book 4 because I'm letting it generate the files. Good night, my friend.